Welcome! Hey guys! Good morning or evening, wherever you are. Let's take some deep breaths. This is for me, not you. Don't be selfish. Let's take some deep breaths. I'm just kidding. But seriously. Yeah, I need this morning. I need to take some breaths. Hello. So, couple of things I just want to drop in the space. I have to be super mindful of time because I have a client at 10:30. But I was going to do a Canva post about this and write about it, and then I started to do it. This happens sometimes, and I'm like, I will just be able to so much better express this in the physical than to try to write and all the nuances, and just to share some energy with you guys and what I'm thinking what I'm thinking and going through. Okay. I also don't have any water right now and my mouth is super fucking dry. I'm waiting for my water canister to refill, so we're going to have to deal with my dry mouth as well. Okay. So I want to start off today by saying those of us who are here, who are on mission, and I'm going to use the word mission because the word mission resonates for me, but for different people, it might be responsibility, it might be what you can see in the world, but all of us have gifts, all of us have sight to some degree, right? Especially those of us who are in this space. And I want to say thank you for existing. And I want to reaffirm to all of us how important it is that we understand that what we're doing is very real and that we stay connected to each other in that reality, right? Because this is why we're in the world and not of it. There is a lot in this world which does not reflect the coherence that some of us are actually able to witness. And that's okay. I think there's some, that's what we're here for, right? To be that coherence. And so what I'm saying is that people are not going to always understand us. That's okay. We each have to know ourselves so incredibly well so that who we are, what we are, the way that we move in the world really reflects what we know about ourselves. And what we know about ourselves is that we have a unique expression. It's not going to be like everyone else's, especially those of us who came as guardians, who came with a particular template, a particular blueprint to be able to assist during these times, because it is no secret that we are creating a world that doesn't look like one that we see. We're creating a world based on the new architecture that we're resurrecting within ourselves. And there are all different ways to explain what it is that I'm talking about, different belief structures, different words, but the energy behind it is what matters. And we're simply finding other people who can see that same level of reality. That's so important that we're doing that, because like I said, the majority of people are not going to understand you. And if you are playing somebody else's game, then you're never going to connect with and find the people who are meant to actually be connected to you. A lot of us are afraid to actually fully and completely step into what it would mean to completely own our mission and our gifts because of things that we're unconscious of, different memories and events that we have stored within our bodies, things around persecution, things around like literally the opposite, being completely told that we are something that is the opposite of everything that we are. Right? Because there's also been so much, you guys understand that, like, I'm going to go all over the place today, but the religious programming that's on this planet is also specifically designed because a lot of us are kind of like the original Essenes, like we hold the true original founder records. We actually know that consciousness within the cells of our body. And those beings were told that they were the opposite of what they were, right? They were cast out. They were told that they were evil, that they were... But the religious indoctrination on this planet makes it so that even people who get out of religious programming still have a negative association with things like God, with things like the word mission, with actually understanding the true fields. And I've said this years and years and years ago. I was like, that was a really important linchpin. Religion is a really important linchpin because it got people to either completely buy into the false Anu God structure, or it pushed them so far out because they recognized the illusion, they recognized that something was wrong, but they dropped the true fields along with it. And that's unfortunate, because when people are living in that type of reality, they're not actually able to see people like you or I. There's a distorted lens on top of it, whether it's coming from, I want to pull you more towards this religious programming and kind of the way that I'm seeing it, or, people judging and sort of saying like, you're sounding to me like you're dogmatic, you're sounding religious. It's like where a lot of us actually stand. Sorry, I have to let my cat in. Where a lot of us actually stand is that we are neither, right? We are embodying a type of consciousness which has absolutely nothing to do with the false fields of this old religious programming. There are true fields, though, also within it. How else would they be able to capture so many people and invert parts of the scripture and the story and all of it? But I just think it's really interesting, and I just want to kind of freeform speak. Like, I was somebody who had a really big issue with the word God. I couldn't even imagine having a positive relationship with that, or saying it and owning it. And it's interesting because I had a Hopi shaman do a soul retrieval process with me, and one of the things that she knew nothing about me. One of the things that she picked up is she goes, your monad, your higher your oversoul is actually connected to the Christ body. And I was like, whoa, I'm not surprised, because I have felt that, right? That architecture and that resonance. And I've come into a lot of other beings who have felt similarly. And that's been something that's been really like, I'm like, oh God, I do trauma recovery. I'm really not here to be overly dogmatic. And I don't want to like weave this as like, you have to believe this. Like, I don't believe that, I believe that the relationship with God that everybody has and the words that they use to describe it and the practices that they carry out are so personal that I never wanted too much of that to get wrapped up in my, just my general excellence or skill set around trauma recovery and soul retrieval. And there might be a lens that I'm seeing that through, but I have total respect for people who use different words, who relate to things differently. I'm also very grateful for the people who I feel like have found a similar kind of path as me, but I'm very holistically oriented. I see things in a bigger picture, and just because part of my soul stream is connected into the Christ architecture doesn't mean that there aren't other and many, like a multitude of different ways. But I think that a lot of us, I'm starting to get to a place in my journey where I really have no skin in the game as far as what other people believe or don't believe. I'm here to radiate a particular frequency and to activate other beings to radiate their original frequency, because that's the time of the transition that we're in. That's what I really care about, and helping people to clear out these patterns and stuff so that they can resurrect that. But we don't need to be comparing ourselves with other people. That's one of the ego wound traps that I think so many of us get into. I've done it. I've compared myself to, let's say people like, I'll just be honest, like people like Zarina, who are all in, right? We're all in. That's the other thing. Not everybody's all in. And so you might be asked to operate a specific part of the grid, which asks you to utilize your excellence in comprehending complex language and concepts to be able to transmit those to a specific group of people. And that may or may not, let's say if you're called to do that, that may or may not be for everyone. I have people who have messaged me and said, you could probably simplify things. This is too complicated for people. And I know other people who have been stationed around me in similar parts of the grid who have been told similar things. And so again, right, no matter where you are, no matter what you're giving back to humanity from your overflowing cup, which maybe that's fucking mowing lawns. Honestly, maybe it's caring for the earth by mowing lawns. Whatever it is, be that. Be that, be that, be that. Because there are people who are actually waiting on you. You guys, like, and this is where people start to like, oh, wow, you can't claim that. Don't get so wild and crazy that you really claim that. Why? Why not? Why not claim that for yourself? Because it's the truth. The truth is that you impact everything around you, that your energy matters. It's easy to go into a nihilistic perspective where you can just say, you know what, nothing matters. We've all been there. When we're in our depressive or anxious spiral or whatever it is, nothing matters, fuck it, right? We come in to justify ourselves, but the truth is that it does matter, and you know that it matters, and it matters so fucking much that the pressure of that responsibility for some people is too great. We are being asked to go all the way, and not everybody's gonna go all the way. In whatever direction that means for them. Not everybody's going to understand you. And if you know that that's true, that not everybody is going to understand you, then wouldn't you go all in? It doesn't even matter what you do. People are not going to fucking understand you. The only thing that you have to do is be everything that you came to be, right? The only thing you have to do, that huge fucking mission. But it's not you being somebody else's dream of you or you being something that fits into what somebody else wants you to be. It's you get to literally be that. And the consequence of that is that you will lose people who are not aligned to that timeline that is your highest timeline. You will lose those people. But what you will gain is far greater. What you will gain is everything. So it's really getting to a point where, we gotta be okay with triggering people. And it's not about intentionally trying to use our energy to I'm gonna fucking be a thorn in someone's side. It's really just about the fact that there are so many devices of mind control within humanity, and there's so much unresolved and uncleared personal ego pathologies and personal traumas that people have been ignoring that you come in unapologetically you, and I'm not talking about being an asshole, but if you come in like that, people are going to have problems with it. And the beautiful thing is that you don't have to care. Because if you know who you are, you cannot be gaslit. We're not here to prove anything to anybody. We're just here to radiate and share that. And if somebody's like, ooh, ooh, check in with yourself. Do I know myself? Do I still have doubts? Is this person reflecting my doubts? How much is this triggering me? Because I got extremely triggered yesterday with an individual who was having a real problem with me using the word mission. It's like, ooh, red flag, right? They have religious unresolved programming. And I got super triggered Because you guys, people are going to not understand you. And in that, if you, this is the bigger point too, is that in that, if you allow yourself to get continuously sucked into these situations where you are trying to explain yourself, or you're trying to, or you don't want to be a bad person, and so you can't just like remove yourself energetically, is that we end up getting siphoned from these scenarios, because either somebody is able to see the scope that you are operating within, or they're not. And I'm gonna be honest, when you take those moments as an opportunity to clear it, because God is continuing to give you those opportunities to clear those things, right? God gave me that opportunity because I have the strength within me to do it, and that's a part of my growth and evolution, to go, why is this triggering me so much? Is there still an aspect of me that feels I have to prove something? Is there still an aspect of me that has a problem with people not being able to see me, that wants to be seen, you know? Reconnect to God, come back to yourself, come back to myself. Ultimately, I was able to clear it pretty quickly, and just like, it's like, no, I don't. If you can't see me, you can't see me. That's okay, because I have a connection to people who can on that level. Author Layla Love says, I just experienced this with a family member. It was quite jarring. Yeah. And listen, I don't want to play into all of these weird dynamics about all the stuff that's happening energetically and whatever, but let me just say that the message always remains the same. We always get to use these as opportunities. And the more that we can really see the layers to what's going on, I'm going to speak a little cryptically here, but the more that we can see the layers of what's going on, right, and other people, and be really honest with ourselves, here's our superpower, you guys. If we're honest with ourselves about our trauma, if we're honest with ourselves about what's really going on in our experience, and we clear that, then we know the difference between what is ours and what is not ours. People get very confused about what's theirs and what is not theirs. But if you're not afraid to process and to go in and to feel and to open up your own awareness of what's going on inside of you, then you will be able to differentiate between what's yours and what's not yours. And that's so, so important. She says, absolutely, trigger is a gift for heart expansion. I have also cleared and realigned quite quickly, right? We get quicker, smoother. Last things, okay, 1024. Wow, you guys, we really went here. Are there any last pieces? Final wrap up. When you are your full expression spectrum self, the full rainbow, the full light spectrum, the full sound spectrum of who and what you are, you're going to trigger people inevitably. That's okay. Use your triggers to continue to expand yourself and to move quicker into the quantum. Not everybody's going to understand you. It's okay. Connect yourself to the people who can understand you. Clear your own stuff so that you know the difference between what's yours and what's somebody else's. And what is yours, like I was saying, claim it. Claim that shit. And we are going to go all in. This offering that's starting July, are we in July? Yes, July 9th. So this Saturday, first workshop, and then the personal sessions, and then the second workshop. And we're going into original technologies, healing technologies, mission blueprint. And I'm not sorry. Because that's my medicine. That's my medicine. That's what gets me up every day. Let's do it. Amazing. Love you guys. Thanks for being here, and I will see you soon.